No way that you truth me. I lie the way that you truth me. What is going on, guys? It's Adam, aka Marf, and tonight's show is going to go over some absolutely insane stories, including one that I not only predicted, but I was just there about 2 weeks ago. In fact, the entire Pier 58 pier just collapsed. Who didn't call that one? We'll be right back right after this. Remember, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone that helps with the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. With that out of the way, guys, it is a crazy show tonight, and if you were not notified, remember, you can actually go to marfooglenews.com and get notifications from us. In fact, a lot of people are not notified. We get this email all the time saying that YouTube and DLive do not send it out. I think DLive is actually a lot better. Sometimes they're redoing their platforms, so again, they make a lot of improvements all the time. So that I actually do not hear about very often, but YouTube all the time. And I don't know if it's because not everybody has that all clicked on their notifications. Make sure to do so. Then you will get all of our notifications, especially like when we're doing a show on Sunday, which we normally don't do. And you can sign up for our email alerts. We're having different creators. I just talked to Jacob Israel yesterday. He's going to be doing an article through our platform. And then, of course, High Impact Flicks, Brian, he did one about censorship. We're going to have Ben and Rob do one from Edge of Wonder. So we're going to have lots of creators on there. I'm reaching out to several big ones like BP Earthwatch and others. So stay tuned on that one. All right, that's again marfooglenews.com. And remember, you can actually go and see every article, every tweet, every video that we show you here today is on our website. We don't just say something is happening. We actually back up our sources and give you a bibliography of sorts. So if you want to follow along on a second device, you can actually grab a tablet and read along. You can read ahead or you can read back. So, and at the very end of the show, you'll have all of the caller info here. The number is 224400MARF. That number will be scrolling along on the black line. And if you've never been here before, we're considerate to the callers. We're never rude. We don't talk about other creators in the chat. Even if there's somebody who's just being a blatant jerk, we can leave them to be a blatant jerk somewhere in the billions of YouTube channels out there. We don't need it to be here. Enough people have drama in their own life. We don't need to bring it in here. All right, with that being said, we're going to introduce Dex. Dex is our tech guy. He is also our co-host and our screener tonight. What is going on, Dex?
Hello, Adam. I am here, and hello, Foogle fam.
So we're basically doing a Sunday and Monday show because you are actually going to be doing some things. You're going to be on assignment from kind of Wednesday to Wednesday, and then we're going to be changing things around. So again, this is you're doing things outside of work for assignments, and then I will be as well. So it won't change much, but again, you've got a busy week ahead of you as well.
Yeah, that's for sure, Adam. But we're going to keep doing what we can do to get all the information out to everybody as timely and as fast as we can.
Is anything crazy going on in Georgia that we should know about? Of course.
There was one thing that happened recently with an officer, and actually two of them, I believe, were fired. We're not covering that tonight, but people can go look it up. It's just yet another one of these incidences with, arrests gone bad.
Exactly. And it's all over. One thing I will say, though, too, is I tweeted a video the other day. Somebody took a 4-second clip of a video of an arrest where an officer was pulling somebody out of their car, and they only used that 4 seconds. What that ended up doing is that officer, out of trying to defend, ended up pulling out and releasing the entire clip, the entire footage of why they were pulling this person over. This person had a 2003 Saturn license plate on an Acura vehicle. So obviously, they had good reason. That's usually a stolen vehicle, if anything. So going into somebody who might possibly have stolen a vehicle, you are kind of touchy. So again, people, once they realize, the thing I've noticed is people will see 4 seconds of a clip, they'll see something, and then totally overreact. And then even if all of the information comes out, everybody, of course, that was at the top of their lungs screaming, this is madness, this is wrong, they never apologize, and they just move on to the next one. It seems to me like, a lot of us are like, well, maybe we should wait until we see some of the facts come out. And of course, nobody does that. And that's what's wrong with sharing videos out that you don't know are confirmed. It causes everything from arguments to, conflicts between different races. I mean, like, this is a big thing. So we're going to get right into the news. Thank you guys for all being here. Christ2797, thank you for being here, Cries. And then Sarah Noddy, thank you so much. And then Cries and Manders, thank you guys for the Ninja Genie. All right, we're going to get right into the news. Again, I just was down here videotaping and droning. In fact, I got drone footage from above. There was a little tiny triangle, which was legal. There's a digital map that DJI has that is a fly map. And there's a lot of places in and around downtown you can't fly because of the path of the different airports that are around, and it won't let you fly. There was this weird little zone above the piers, above about 3 of them, where I could actually fly legitly with no warnings, no kind of, no bad zones. And it was a very small, probably 200-foot triangle, and it just happened to be above that. So I ended up getting a top-down view of this thing cracking and falling apart. And it looks like there's multiple things going on the entire piers. I'm hearing a lot of people say, oh, well, this was an old one, this was due, that's why they were replacing it in the first place. Let me just tell you my theory. Again, if you know Seattle, or even if you have lived here, a lot of people don't know that new Seattle was built on top of old Seattle. Old Seattle burnt down in 1907, the Great Fire of 1907. When that burnt down, they essentially built the new one on top of the old one. There is even the historic underground, which is old buildings that were preserved underneath, and it's a tour. It's a vacation kind of tourism spot, and you go under there and you see all these businesses that they've preserved from 1907. And on top of that, they built it on this soft ground, this I guess kind of what do you call it when you dump ground, almost sod. It's just totally soft underneath. There's train railways underneath the Pike Place Market. There's all sorts of things that make this a really volatile area for earthquakes and everything else. The different cracks and the different faults that we've now discovered just in the last 15 years are way more than what we ever thought would even exist. So not just the Cascadia, you're talking about the Seattle fault, and all of these other little faults just popped up out of nowhere. So we're sitting on a landmine. It is going to go at some point. The piers are all old. We had the viaduct. If we would have had the Cascadia 2 years ago or 3 years ago, before that viaduct got taken down, it would have been the worst disaster that the world has seen. I mean, you're talking about thousands of people driving at all times on it, and the thing was just cracking apart. And that is the same to be said about the piers. Now, you may not care because you're in a different city, but this is an entire metropolis built on the water, and the water, the base of it, is kind of what holds up the rest. You're talking about really messed up ground that all of Seattle's on, all of the skyscrapers, everything. Think about if New York was built on just soft ground. You're looking at the skyline, and it's all on this crappy ground. That's what we're dealing with. So this whole thing, almost all of it collapsed with construction workers on there, and I keep hearing people say, oh, well, they were replacing it, and that's why. I looked down the whole way, and I'll show you at the Pike Place Market. There's a crack down the entire market that wasn't there when I started working there when I was 16. It grew for 10 years, and we all watched it. The entire waterfront is cracking and coming apart. And we're talking about all the way up until Pike and Pine and Fifth and all that. It's all going to go. And just watch it. This prediction, hopefully, I'm not alive for when it happens, but when the Cascadia hits, the entire Seattle downtown area is going to be devastated. I mean, way beyond anything they have ever predicted. It says Seattle police responded to the waterfront when Pier 58 next to the Great Wheel collapsed, sending construction workers into the water below. The dismantling of Pier 58 began this weekend. 2 of 5 construction workers fell into the water, and those 2 were sent to Harborview Medical Center. They were out of the water before Seattle Fire arrived. Both appear to have non-life-threatening injuries. 12 workers were on a barge nearby, but none fell into the water. About 1 out of the 5 of the piers is currently underwater, or 1/5 of the pier. I apologize. So, by the pictures of it too, when you see this, let me see if we can actually go to the picture of this. We'll view the original. Hopefully, we won't get too many ads. You'll see it's a huge chunk of this thing just collapsed, and it just looks absolutely horrid. And this is 1/5. This is a gigantic place that a lot of tourism goes on. And these signs on this fence right here, that's right here, say, stay away for your own safety. They knew that this is totally bad. And by the way, most of this stuff was built at the same time. They've done little patches, but the whole thing is old. In fact, this pier with this building right here, this blue building, my friend used to work security for 2 of these different buildings. One, he said that they were haunted. That's a whole side story. But 2, they're all original stuff from 100 years ago. I mean, this is just a disaster waiting to happen. And just mark my words, this thing is going to end up an absolutely horrid mess. Not to mention the Great Wheel. This is something out of a movie. That Great Wheel falling over during a smaller earthquake. I mean, just kind of a stupid placement for it. So anyways, what do you guys think about this? Are you from Seattle? Do you know? Have you been down here? Have you noticed that the entire waterfront, including all the way up into downtown, is falling apart? This is going to be one hell of a mess, and people will only care after thousands of people are injured and thousands of people are in the hospital. Then they'll be, putting on, we stand in solidarity with Seattle bracelets and things like this. But nobody cares before. We're a reactive society. We're not proactive. And then we have Chinese military calls U.S. the biggest threat to world peace. It says China's defense ministry on Sunday blasted a critical U.S. report on the country's military ambitions, saying it is the U.S. instead that poses the biggest threat to the international order and world peace. It says the statement follows the September 2nd release of the annual Defense Department report to Congress on Chinese military developments and goals that it said would have, quote, serious implications on U.S. national interests and the security of the international rules-based order. So we just basically called them out and said that they are the biggest threat, and now they're saying the same about us. It's almost elementary school here. Defense Ministry spokesman Colonel Wu Qian, if I say that wrong, I apologize, called the report a, quote, wanton distortion of China's aims and the relationships between the PLA and China's 1.4 million people. It says, quote, many years of evidence shows that it is the U.S. that is the fomenter of regional unrest, the violator of international order, and the destroyer of world peace. I would like your opinion on this. What do you guys think about that? Many people that know kind of the deep, dark secrets of the U.S. knows that we do meddle all over the world, and we do a lot of things that probably a lot of people say that we shouldn't do. Then again, you've got hardcore patriots that don't care what it is. If it's America doing it, it's great. But again, you can't overlook some of the things that previous presidents have done, the things that operations, the CIA. I mean, this is all under the wing of us. The CIA, we just covered the other night, too. A lot of stuff came out over the last 5 years that was released that just says horrible things about our own government. Now, does that mean it's the greater America that's doing it? No, it's these smaller compartmentalized governments. But you have to say we're kind of responsible for a lot of drama. If this was a circle of friends, U.S. would definitely be in the drama. It says U.S. actions in and Libya and other countries over the past 2 decades have resulted in the deaths of more than 800,000 people and displacement of millions, Kian said. Quote, rather than reflecting on itself, the U.S. issued a so-called report that made false comments about China's normal defense and military construction. I don't think what they're doing is normal either. Spratly Islands making forward operating bases. Them trying to catch up with us in a matter of a year and a half with their Navy. Xi Jinping telling his military to prepare for war. You've got, some of their head guys saying that we are about to go to conflict. You've got experts saying that they're structuring their entire military to take us out specifically. You've got them doing financial decisions like cutting off Australia and all of these other things. Trade, all of this stuff is going on at the same time. Dex, wouldn't you say the stuff that you've even helped me cover over the last year and a half has definitely said, this is not a joking matter as far as China and the U.S.?
No, I think this has just been a continuous escalation, and I don't know when it ends, right? It just seems like it's amping up and amping up, and it's definitely looks to be the replacement for USSR and the back in the cold conflict days, but I just don't know where it's going to go from a financial and a physical point of view. We keep seeing these little tit for tat things happening, but it's only one misstep away from escalating to full on conflict, right?
Yeah, and remember, this report talks about how they are structuring everything for cyber attacks. You're talking about different EMP weapons that they have going, that they are developing. You're talking about the mass building of ships. I called it before all of this, and I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, but you guys who have watched me for 3 years, we knew from our military members. In fact, it was patting our military members on the back. They said that there was mass Chinese ships being built undercover and under guise that the satellites could not see. And then what ended up happening? Just recently, we found out all of these huge covered areas that even have, some of them have grass on top, some of them have camouflage, some of them have cement to make it look like it's not anything underneath. All of them building these ships in mass. They even said, we covered that they expect to catch up to our Navy in ship numbers in just the next year and a half. If people aren't seeing the urgency here, then I don't know what really points it out. Why do they need to catch up that fast? Usually that kind of thing happens over 10, 15, 20 years. But obviously they don't think that they have that much time. Something is going on. Obviously I know that's going to be I know that's going to be something that triggers something. Sorry about that. That was every time I even called it the sound coming from Como or Cairo, all those local news stations and their thing. Anyways, I totally lost track there. The banjo got me. So overall, just to get back on track, as far as the separation of the U.S., of India and China, of all of these different countries saying they don't want Chinese drones, they don't want Chinese apps, they don't want Chinese anything, and now you're having experts and even the White House talking about completely separating financially from China. Think about how connected we are with China right now. Think about how many items in your household, whether you know it or not, were made there. This would be huge if we completely separated from China, which we've already done in several different ways. I'll tell you what, there would be no reason for them not to go to conflict. And then we have a secretive Pentagon research program looks to replace human hackers with AI. That's right. No more chubby guy on his computer sweating over numbers and zeros. Now they'll have an AI do it. It says a Joint Operations Center inside Fort Meade in Maryland is a cathedral to cyber warfare, part of a 380,000 square foot, $520 million complex opened up in 2018. It says the office is the nerve center for both the U.S. Cyber Command and the National Security Agency, so the NSA, as they do cyber battle. That's what they call it. It says clusters of civilians and military troops work behind dozens of computer monitors beneath a bank of small chiclet windows, dousing the room in light. It says 3 20-foot tall screens are mounted on a wall below the windows. On most days, 2 of them are spitting out a constant feed from a secretive program known as Project Ike. What's funny is Project Ike that I covered 3 years ago, I believe, I think a lot of people said that this was fake news. And now I think it did come out that it was true. Isn't that funny? The rooms look no different than a standard government auditorium, but Ike represents a radical leap forward. It says if the Joint Operations Center is the physical embodiment of a new era of cyber warfare, then the art of using computer code to attack and to defend targets ranging from tanks to email servers, Ike is the brains. It tracks every keystroke made by the 200 fighters working on computers below the big screens and churns out predictions of the possibility of success on individual cyber missions. It can automatically run strings of programs and adjust constantly as it absorbs information. Ike is a far cry from a prior decade of cyber operations, a period of manual combat that involved the most mundane of tools. It says the hope for cyber warfare is that it won't merely take control of an enemy's planes and ships, but it will disable military operations by commandeering the computers that run the machinery. Think about this. It says obviating the need for bloodshed. The concept has evolved since the infamous American and Israeli strike against Iran's nuclear program and malware known as Stuxnet, which temporarily paralyzed uranium production starting in 2005. So you're talking about one of their goals and what they're trying to work on is taking over not only enemy behind enemy lines, but taking over their equipment. Now that everything is electric and everything is tied into the Internet of Things and everything else, they have these cyber hackers doing it. Well, guess what? When they find that humans are not capable of the same thing that a quantum computer would be capable of, guess what they'll do? They'll end up implementing a computer that's way crazier than any human or anything could ever imagine. And that's where we start getting into the situation where a computer has access to military equipment. This is what they're talking about, taking over tanks and different things like this. Taking over missile silos, taking over this kind of thing. This is what Elon Musk talks about when he's afraid of things. He says, I'm less afraid of nuclear conflict than I am of AI taking over. This is what is happening. AI is taking over our military cyber warfare. And if that happens completely, then we are in a huge amount of trouble. Auntie M, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for being here tonight. It's really lovely to see all of you guys here. MG Toe Legion, thank you. And then Shannon Barnett and Kyle from Maxi Truth. Thank you guys. Sandra, Ember Dawn, and Sandra again. Sandra S. And then Super T-Man 2020, thank you for being here. Carolyn Lowe and America. I think that was America. Tech Sweet PG, thank you guys for all being here. What do you guys think of this? As far as AI taking over this is exactly what we fear, and watch as it goes through. We will see mistakes made by a computer, and I guarantee you they'll cover it up and act like it never happened. This is a scary point, a turning point in military operations, period. And then we have Edward Snowden criticizes Amazon for hiring the former director of U.S. National Security Agency. Yes, that's right. The former director of the U.S. NSA is now working for Amazon. Now, Dex, we covered this, what was this, about a week ago? Or were we talking about this? I know in some aspect we were talking about this happening
Yeah, they were hiring spooks basically to watch their employees.
Oh,
But the role seemed to be a little bit more like for a world leader, like somebody needed their own three-letter agency to deal with all sorts of issues that might be happening globally, but within their employee base, which was strange. I think it was really a cover.
look at this. So this is the story we covered the other night, and you can access this by going to our show, I believe 2 or 3 nights ago. Why Jeff Bezos is hiring ex-spooks to help keep tabs on his employee. Spooks is in 3-letter agency guys. And now this. Now he's hiring the former director of U.S. National Security, NSA. Okay, if people aren't awake for this, everyone uses Amazon. And that is part of why he gained, I think it's something absurd, like 80 million in the last 6 or 7 months. In fact, 2020, Elon Musk gained like 43 or 63 billion. Sorry, we're in a whole different ballgame. And then Amazon, Jeff Bezos, is now the richest man in the world because of lockdown and everybody going through Amazon. And I guarantee you, even if people are going to go on Twitter and say, I won't use it because of this, or just like kind of like the Netflix thing, a lot of people say, oh, I canceled Netflix. But then the next day, or they'll post it and then, resubscribe because they need their Netflix, right? With Amazon, do you think that this is worth a boycott of it? Do you think that they're secretly working alongside other people to use Amazon as something more than just a shopping platform? Do you think Walmart is more than just a shopping store, right? With military connected directly to it, right? Why are they getting NSA involved with Amazon? And not to mention Jeff Bezos also owns surveillance companies that you probably employ in your house. Talking about Alexa, Amazon Alexa inside your home, now working with NSA folks at the company. Personally, I think that people would still, they just, if you're going to use Amazon, then just understand what you're dealing with. It says in 2013, the former NSA contractor leaked a cache of top secret U.S. intelligence documents revealing a massive surveillance campaign of Americans. Now remember, this, of course, Edward Snowden had a campaign against him. Recent emails came out about him and AJ saying that people, that they, by they I mean NSA and this different thing, they paid people to do a campaign negatively about Snowden. So just remember, you heard a lot of people saying he's a shill and this and that, but just remember, that's probably on purpose. Same with AJ. AJ did go, over. He went a little bit overboard. In fact, he's been kind of kooky his entire life. But remember, the push was all of a sudden that, he's a shill and he's deplatformed. So now he's deplatformed and he doesn't make any sense and he's completely nuts. Sorry, but I think somebody had a hand in that. And it was probably a 3-letter agency. Same with this. Edward Snowden, a lot of people say that he was a traitor, this and that. I get that because he was a traitor. But at the same time, he did let us know something that no one else, who would risk that? It blew our minds, but then everybody got used to it. So now every American citizen and pretty much everyone around the world knows that we're being surveilled all of our life. Everything, our stuff is being listened to, and really people aren't up in arms about this. In fact, they're up in arms about say somebody being denied their change or being kicked out of a Wendy's because of, them wearing a red hat, but they're not mad about this. It says U.S. whistleblower Edward Snowden criticized Amazon after it was reported that Keith Alexander, a former chief of the U.S. National Security Agency, or NSA, who held the post when the global surveillance scandal broke out. So again, this was the guy in charge when this whole thing went down. The same person who's working for Amazon is now working there. It says... had joined the e-commerce giant's board as a director. Snowden took to Twitter to note that Alexander is personally responsible for the NSA's illegal mass surveillance program. Huh. Now, no matter what you think about Snowden, I think this is interesting. I think this is a bigger deal than probably most people will ever know. And I bet you this is just going to get put right under the rug. You'll never hear about it again. It says, it turns out, Hey Alexa is short for Hey Keith Alexander. Yes, the Keith Alexander personally responsible for the unlawful mass surveillance that caused a global scandal, and Amazon Web Services hosts 6% of all websites. That was Edward Snowden's tweet. It says Amazon's move was criticized by the organization Privacy International, which called the move worrying. So this kind of agency, organization, Privacy International, is saying that there's something up here. And I bet there is. What do you guys think? Do you think that Amazon is going to employ this gentleman to help them surveil on our every move? Maybe our every buying habit, whatever. Maybe it's harmless, right? They just want to know what we're going to buy before we're going to buy it. Don't know.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
You know, lots of companies pick up these people, but there's another famous person who was picked up, not recently, it's been there for a little while. And you mentioned him earlier, but Netflix, you know, the relationship there, the United States ambassador to the UN and the United States National Security Advisor from 2013 to 2017 during the O era, Susan Rice is on the board.
So, and people still don't get the connection that these big corporations are actually in charge of way more than just what they're selling. Way
Definitely some
more.
programming there, right?
Yeah, that's to say the least. So it says the development comes as last week a U.S. federal court ruled that the NSA's massive surveillance program, under which the agency obtained details on millions of Americans' phone calls, was illegal and possibly unconstitutional. Really? They needed a court case for that. They brought in people with suits to figure that one out. Yeah. So obviously it was unconstitutional. It was going in and it was taking our stuff without our knowledge. That's not constitutional whatsoever. So, yeah. Obviously they went into that, court proceedings knowing that it was unconstitutional. Obviously somebody says, buffering here. Yeah, probably talking about this. Lancaster, Pennsylvania, police bang bang crazy riot. Rick, Missouri, we will check on that. And again, if there's breaking news during the show, please let us know in the chat. Let us know via Twitter. We can pick that up and we can actually add it to the show. Cat.zoom, thank you for your support tonight. And then Go Dick Q. Go to Q. I think that's how you say it. Glad others think the way I do. Pray and prepare. Well, thank you so much for your support, and I appreciate you. Machina Opus says, thanks, Marf, Dex, Mods, and Fam. And then, of course, Tower Bear popping in and driving in with a Ninja Guinea. Isn't it weird that every situation we've been going through has also played out in the movies? Predictive programming much? Yeah, Tower Bear, this is... The truth is stranger than fiction by far. There is nothing stranger than what is going on right now in 2020. Cat.zoom, again, thank you. Zippy Moons, multiple diamonds, just hitting us up. Thank you so much for your support. And then, of course, One Love, Michelle Over, Dory M13, Shy the Coffee, Nanny Deborah, Jafarm 2, and Renegade Pre. I just about had a aneurysm there. Prilby, thank you. You're setting off my Alexa. Hey Alexa. Hey Alexa. That's pretty messed up. Hey Alexa, turn up the TV. Hey Alexa, turn the TV up to max. Hey Alexa, what sound does a lion make? Sorry, I'm done. Chris Vigil, sorry about that. Thank you for your support. And then Amber B. Subaru WRX, thank you for being here over 2 years, I believe now. I love the show. Foogle fan for life. Thanks, Marf and Dex. Amber, it's always nice to see you in chat. Enigma, thank you for following. Granny C, thank you for your support. Starfire 3, this is my one and only news channel. Well, thank you so much. Charles Skunkcap, thank you for following. Lisa Chaperro and D. Hartford, thank you for following. And then Unstoppable Truth Bernard, thank you for donating through Streamlabs, which I think only 1 or 2 people have done in the last 6 months. So thank you. I don't even know how you found that. So thank you. That did show up right there. Connect the Dots Open Mind, thank you for subscribing. Diamond Drip T-Shirt Company, thank you for subscribing as well. Jacob Shearer, and of course, Cutie Pie, thank you for being the last one out last time. Unicorn Forest, Patriot Purple News, One Love, and Nana, thank you guys for being here tonight. Mad love to those who showed up to my stream, says Tuck Pup. Oh yeah, I think we helped you get over 1,000, which is awesome. All right, and then if you guys want to protect yourself against one of the most elusive threat out there, against an EMP or a solar flare, that would be getting an EMP shield. It actually protects against all 3 phases of an EMP, E1, E2, and E3. And this is by the same company that has not only worked for DHS, but DOD. We're talking about on the official DEMSO team helping protect the Texas grid. This is Keystone military tested. This is how they're protecting themselves. So why not protect ours with this as well? It's 100% American made. It's a veteran-owned business. They were also considerate enough to just let you guys know, normally it's 1-day shipping. They've always been like that because they've picked up so many government contracts. They just wanted to let the civilians know it could take upwards of 5 days to get your EMP shield. They're very considerate. That's only temporary. When it gets back to regular shipping, then they will let you know. Again, I hope that people are picking up what we're throwing. We've warned everyone. We've shown you what proof we think that says that this is a serious thing, and if we were all protected, we wouldn't be in a much better place. Again, that's marfooglenews.com/EMP. Don't wait. That's all I can say. All right, we're going to take our first caller. Then we're going to get into the Navy pilot who witnessed a UFO sighting in 2004, said that the flying object jammed their radars. Well, of course it did. Dev Arb says, already have my NordVPN. Thank you. That's awesome. All right, Maui Racing Realtor, I appreciate you being here tonight. And now we've got our caller. What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on, Adam? What's going on, Foogle fam?
Just pulling up your information right now. It looks like this is your second call. You says winter solstice in alignment with Saturn and Jupiter. And you've got a picture here. What are we looking at? Calling from Rhode Island.
So, one thing that people are not talking about, the reason why they call your vision, if you have good vision, is 2020. Because 2020 is when we start the era of Aquarius, which is the era of knowledge. And December 21st of this year is going to be a winter solstice, which is an alignment of the sun with a whole bunch of planets. Not just, it's like Neptune, Pluto, Mars, Uranus, Saturn, Jupiter, Mercury. It's all in alignment. What this alignment happens is when the portals and the ley lines in the earth open up or charge up. One of the reasons why they went to Saddam Hussein wasn't because of weapons of mass destruction. It's because he possessed a Stargate. Last year, if you guys look this up, last year on December 22nd, SpaceX tried to shoot something over to see if they could break through the firmament. This year, from the 21st of December to the 24th, will be when the firmament is the most weakest, and you can either travel in time or you can go in the past because of how everything is aligned. You know how they say there's portals at the end of each of our poles? Well, this time is when they get charged up. If you're able to charge up, then you're able to go up to whatever is up in the firmament and go on. So what I'm trying to say is this, and this is for everyone here. The time that they keep us the most busy is from the 21st to the 24th, which is when it opens up. And then it takes 7 days to close, which it goes all the way to the 31st and then the 1st of January. They're probably going to tell everyone not to go outside because the rays are going to be bad for you and this and that. And they will be. For those who don't have their spiritual mind, body, and soul together, and also those that have heavy metals inside their body, these rays would not be good for them. So for the ones that don't, this will be exception or an increase of your DNA. Like your DNA is going to be turned on. I'm not telling you that you're going to become a superhuman, but you'll be able to understand and know more. That's why 2020 is perfect vision.
Well, I would be lying if I said I've heard about this theory. I have not. Again, I'm very open-minded, and I always listen everything out. Go
Adam,
ahead.
If you do a little bit of research, you'll see that last year on the 22nd they tried to break to this firmament. This is why they militarize in space, because when these ley lines happen, is when you're able to cross over.
Well, obviously I don't, that is not my specialty. I'm sure that there are people in the audience that know exactly what you're talking about, but I am definitely not. Maybe you could connect me with some links on Twitter.
I'll give you something, I think I'll give you something that'll renounce a little bit better. This is what they call, that's why they call it the comeback of the sun, or the sun is coming back. You're talking about Nibiru. This is why you're starting to see all these shakes, all these earthquakes starting to go. Is because as this gets closer, it starts pulling our tectonic plates. These 3 days are the key for all the elites to do what it is that they want to do, to either get out of here or get what they need from the other side to control us. This is important because in these days, the days that this happens is when most humans are the most busiest. They keep you the most busiest. And you do not look up in the sky. If you believe in God and if you believe in the Bible, it tells you that the second coming, you can see it in the stars. Our stars are like a clock. And this alignment, the last time it happened was 6,000 years ago. You guys can all go do this research. It's public knowledge. So pay attention to these things in these days, because it'll get a little bit bumpy. But for those who believe and understand what's really going on, their knowledge is going to get multiplied.
Well, great point. And let's see here. I didn't even get your name at the very beginning. Jay Pizzle. Thank you for bringing this up. I actually pulled up the article. If you guys want to read about Saturn and Jupiter, you can actually go here. And then this Earth sky picture as well is going to be available, so you can see this connection. As far as the planets lining up and all of this, I know somebody who would be awesome at talking about what is probably a biblical connection. That would be Jacob Israel. If you guys have not seen his channel, you should check it out. Jay Pizzle, thank you so much for calling in tonight. I appreciate you. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
Yes, I do. First and foremost, love the Foogle fam. We always going to need the chubby tech guy. I love you, Dex. Adam, I love you too. And please, let's all pray for the souls that fight in the darkness to bring light and be forgotten. All those earthquakes you guys see, some of those is our guys with the night vision underneath saving children. Let's not forget about those people that go, our unsung heroes. And on that, love everyone. God bless. Be the change you always want to see and be. And God bless everybody, especially the Foogle fam.
Well, thank you so much. Jay Pizzle. If you guys want to go to either of those links, you can go to marfooglenews.com. I saw somebody during the call say, who was that? I wanted to say it wasn't Maui, was it? Somebody said, I hope I don't wake up in the age of prohibition, saying if he time traveled backwards, that would be his least favorite time. And then a few other people. Again, I'm open-minded. I have never been to space, so I don't argue with as far as what shape the Earth is. I do believe that there are a group of people that are just very aggressive. I think that any group, whether it be religious or theology or anything that push their view on other people, I just don't appreciate it. As far as him saying it in that way, of course, I would love to see links and see things, and of course look at any information up. And that's how we should all be. We should stop, judging people and pushing our stuff on others. And if you want to help people and align them with your views, then give them good information and give them good links so they can go and look. That's my opinion, at least. I just see a lot of people that specifically over those kind of subjects, they go head to head and they butt and they call people idiots. They call each other idiots. You're this, you're that. It's like, it doesn't get anywhere. You know what I mean? It just kind of goes in circles. That gentleman was he was a gentleman, exactly that. So I appreciate calls like that. And then we have, we're going to need at least one more caller. So remember to get in at 224400 Marf. If you want to call in, this would be the day to do it. Again, normally all of the 4 lines are filled by now. All right, so we're going to get back into the news. And let's see here. Somebody was saying that there was background noise. I'll make sure to try to fizzle that out. Navy pilot who witnessed UFO sighting in 2004 said flying object jammed their radars. It says a former U.S. Navy pilot is opening up about his infamous alleged UFO sighting off of the coast of California. Commander David Fravor said he witnessed a tic-tac shaped object in the sky in November 10th, 2004, performing extraordinary aerial maneuvers that he said no modern technology could have done. It says this is not like we saw it and it was gone, or I saw lights in the sky and it was gone. We watched this thing on a crystal clear day with 4 trained observers. Fravor said in a sit-down interview with Russian-American YouTuber and MIT researcher Lex Friedman on September 8th. He said that the phenomena committed, quote, an act of war by jamming the military's radar when they tried to trace it. So when they looked at this thing, it totally just frizzled all of their systems. Obviously, that would say that they have some sort of, advanced technology that makes our stuff look like toys. It says electronic jamming is a form of electronic warfare and is illegal in all 50 states. While it's not always considered an act of conflict, it is interpreted as hostile. It says video of what the Navy was able to trace of the object was leaked in 2017, and the case was declassified by the Pentagon earlier this year. Fravor and others were conducting a routine training mission when the radio operator asked them to check out a mysterious aircraft that they had been tracking for 2 weeks. It says the operator said that the object would suddenly appear at 80,000 feet, hurtle towards the sea, hover at about 20,000 feet, then shoot back up in the sky. Now that's weird. Going up that high, way higher, twice as high as planes go, then to go down and then to, go up, back up and down, that's not normal flying. He explained that it didn't move like helicopters or like other aircraft he was familiar with. By this time, we were driving around and we were just watching this thing, and I go, hey, I'm going to go check it out, Fravor recalled. It's aware of us, and it goes bloop and starts coming up. So it knows we're there. This is like 5 minutes, he added. I'm going to meet it, and probably a half mile away, it's going to be coming across my nose, and it just accelerates and disappears at 12,000 feet in less than a half a second, and it's gone. I remember telling the guy in the back seat, dude, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty weirded out, he said in the interview. Yeah, I would think you would be. That's imagine being a military pilot and seeing that. I would be scared. Yeah, I wish I had a beep. For sure. What do you guys think? Do you think it was a UFO? Do you think in 2004 that was Russian or China technology that was way ahead of time? Or do you think that was some sort of interdimensional visitor? What do you guys think? And then we have, of course, as dangers rise, many fear their California dream is fading. San Francisco, the cityscape, resembles the surface of a distant planet, populated by a masked alien culture. It says the air choked with brown ash is difficult to breathe. There is the Golden Gate Bridge looming in the distance through a drift smoke haze, and the Salesforce Tower, which against the blood orange sky appears as a colossal spaceship in a doomsday film. San Francisco and much of California has never been like this. California has been becoming a warming, burning, epidemic-challenged, and expensive state, with many who live in sophisticated cities, idyllic oceanfront towns, and wind-blown mountain communities, thinking hard about the viability of a place many have called home forever. For the first time in a decade, more people left California last year for other states than arrived. It says, so basically more people left California than came to California. I don't blame them. In fact, there's demons in California, in my opinion. Monica Gupta Mehta and her husband, an entrepreneur, have been through the tech bust and booms, earthquakes, wildfire seasons, and power outages. But it was not until the skies darkened and cast an unsettling orange light on their Palo Alto home earlier this week that they considered moving their family of 5 somewhere else. It says, for the first time in 20-something years, the thought crossed our minds, do we really want to live here? Said Mehta, who's starting an education tech company. It would be difficult to leave. They love the area's abundant nature and tied to Silicon Valley by work and a network of extended family members who followed them from west to Pittsburgh. It says, but Mehta says that it is something that she would consider if her family was in regular danger. Yesterday felt so apocalyptic, Mehta said. People are really starting to reconsider whether California has enough to offer them. So as far as people leaving, we covered this before. We told you by next year people would be leaving in groves, and they're going to be going to the bigger cities, if anything. California is a rare thing. I think that they are trying to move people off of the coast and into these mega cities, which you would think, oh, well, California would be the one. California is not going to be there after the map changes. So I think that they are trying to move people to different spots. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think? Just a Cat Mom says, regular danger. She's been out in the not rich areas. Rich people shaking my head. Shy the Coffee says yes. And then Patty Morton says agree. Channel really whoa. Terrabile says Joe Dirt, California genocide. And then run away from Cali. Yeah, there's a lot of people that obviously can see some of this is really kind of freaky. Veteran Steve, thank you for your support and thank you for everything. Thank you for your support multiple nights in a row. Thank you for being here. Red Camel, Kishara, Terrabile, Jazelle, and then Saved by Grace. Thank you guys. And then again for gifting subs out to Anarok. Thank you, Veteran Steve. We really appreciate you. And then Auntie M, Spenny 340. Thank you guys for popping up. And then Furious Cabbage just got one from Veteran Steve. Thank you guys. Subscriptions matter. Thank you for being part of the Mafia. And then Pacific Northwest Jack of all trades says that's why Russia disconnected from the internet. So that was a couple seconds ago. I wonder if you were talking about, kind of what's happening. We covered that. Of course, Russia has completely disconnected their internet. 1 week, they said that they were going to do it. It was like 2 weeks later, they said, we've passed the bill. And then it was like right afterwards, they said, we're completely disconnected. What do you think that they're preparing for? I'll tell you. I think it's something big. Cassie Cam says, I miss our state chat rooms and being able to meet new people from different groups. Are we still down? Well, the Discord is not coming back. Discord got rid of us because we had too many military in our group. We are building a system, so that's why we thank you guys for donations, because we are building our own platform that cannot be taken down. So, much appreciated. I don't think people realize how much we are actually putting into it, so thank you guys so much for all of your support, and especially through this time where we have no state groups. Highly encourage, of course, waiting for an official group. Don't join something just because it says Marfoogle News. Obviously, we don't have an official group right now, so anything out there, it's at your own risk. And then Tracy Underwood, thank you so much for your support. Blackfeather MWP, thank you. Southern Illinois Survivalist says, the great filter that Elon Musk speaks of is the Micro Nova event. Check out the Die Hold Foundation on YouTube, please. Southern Illinois Survivalist, I think also there was another channel that did a whole kind of mini documentary about it, and I'm trying to think of, guys, help me out here. It's a big channel. Observers, suspicious observers. Is that what it is? You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. And then Drink the Coffee Black says, let's have a show just on UFO experiences and sighting calls. I'm actually down for that because I've had plenty, and I know plenty of you have as well. Granny C, thank you so much for your support. You can always write a soliloquy or something there. And then Starfire 3, this is my one and only news channel. I appreciate that too. You have no idea. And then we have, again, with the fires, just as a final note, there's so much more than what is being said right now. You guys need to check out Dutch Sense. He's been putting out just a ton of really great videos. You guys make sure to say hi from the Foogle fam. And then check out, Mike Morales is a good channel as well. He's been covering the kind of weather stuff that's been going on. And then BP Earthwatch does a great job as well. And then we have Facebook says, quote, it will remove all posts alleging that the Oregon fires were started by certain groups. This is by RT, or Russia Today, and it's kind of funny that they're saying this as looking at us because their media is completely just as censored. It says Facebook has announced that it will be wiping out messages alleging that wildfires that have been sweeping through Oregon might be the work of certain groups, after the FBI brushed off reports of arson as conspiracy theories. So one thing I think is crazy is the thought that to say that it's absolutely fact that it couldn't be, right? How do they know? Somebody could have threw a match and then boom, it's a blazing wildfire. And with everything that's going down, with the kind of things that we hear chanted saying, this down, burn this mother down, how are we not to think that somebody might be behind it? Especially since that area has been taken control of for over 6 months. I don't know. Do you guys think that this could be the work of somebody? Do you think it could get this big as far as way beyond exponential from last year without help? What do you guys think? Do you think it's either them, or do you think it's something from the sky? I would love to hear it. It says, we are removing false claims that the wildfires in Oregon were started by certain groups. I agree that we should wait. Somebody quoted Dan Bongino. I think we should wait, anywhere from 24 hours to 48 hours to even think of something, make comments on things. Because honestly, people way overreact, and they say this, they say that, but they don't have proof. We need to make sure that we have proof before we judge and change things and make, humongous life changes for the entire world. That's what's been happening. In 24 hours, by the next day, we've had gigantic world explosion riots over events that people didn't even have all the facts on yet. So that's just my opinion. Defending what is effectively an act of censorship by the social media giant, Stone noted that the speculations that the blazes have been ignited by these are forcing law enforcement to, quote, divert resources from fighting the fires and protecting the public. What do you mean? I don't get why the law enforcement is spending money. How does that divert resources, people saying this? I don't get it. I would love for somebody to put that in a sensical... I would really, like, seriously. Let me know what the official kind of thing is, why that would divert resources from what they're doing. Is it because people are calling, emergency lines? I'm actually curious about that. Dex, do you have an idea? Like, why would that divert resources from fighting the fires and protecting the public? They have to say that it's something, right? It's money, or I don't get it. Looks like Dex is on the phone. That's okay. The move comes as multiple wildfires are tearing through Oregon, closing in on Portland, the center of BLM protests, which have been marred by vandalism and arson. This is a big one. So I'm sorry, but I just don't think it's I don't think it's a crime to question things or to say, is as far as somebody saying as fact, this person did it. How can you even believe that if it doesn't have a name or if it doesn't have a mugshot or something else? I think you should back it up. But as far as, I don't think, how does that hurt? I don't get it. If somebody can explain that, I would be very grateful. Somebody said one woman had been arrested 3 times before, starting 3 more. Yeah, I believe it. If you guys want to protect yourself against being tracked and traced, Edward Snowden style, you can actually go off-grid, or at least have your phone go off-grid. You can put it in an e-deck bag. These bags work for anything from a cell phone. If you get the bigger bag for your laptop, then there is no getting in or getting out for any signals. So essentially, your phone goes off-grid. These are actually made by eDeck, and they have been selling these to agencies like FBI and CIA for evidence bags, because once anything technological goes in there, it is in there and nobody can access it. Nobody can remote wipe the hard drives and things. How you can use it is that no one can track and trace you. It's actually incredibly easy to do. You just put it in the bag wherever you go. If you don't want something tracking where you went or pinging you when you're there next to a crime that you didn't commit, you can put it in a Faraday bag. All right, and then again, you can go to marfooglenews.com/edeck. Let's go to our next caller. It actually looks like we have Edward on the phone, calling from Florida. Edward, what is going on? You can come in now. It says upcoming meeting between Putin and T-Man. Russian people are told to prepare for nuclear warfare. What is going on?
Hello, do you hear me?
Yes, we do. So,
hello?
We hear you.
Okay, cool. All right, so basically, what's going on is that I'm trying to think of words so I don't trigger anything. But a couple months ago, there was I follow another guy, and there was a news. It was all over the news in Russia, and they were telling people to basically just start stockpiling as much food and as much anything as possible, because T-Man was going to meet up eventually with Putin so they can sign a new agreement between weapons. You know how recently they canceled the whole World War II and the Cold War weapons deals. So they were going to renegotiate it, but it was going to be around the time of elections. It's going to be either before or after. And if it does happen, he was letting his generals know that should any of their allies' nations be attacked, they were going to retaliate with as much firepower as possible, because the only one in that country that can verify what is happening, or if it's a launchable deal, like if it's a actual threat to their homeland, is Putin. But since he's not going to be there, he's giving them 100% authority to wipe out whatever nation attacks first. And if he should ever get hurt during this trip, to retaliate whatever nation does anything to him. And it goes step by step. It's like 15 different steps for like 15 different scenarios. It's crazy.
And now, is there somewhere where people can go and look? Where do you have any resources that we could actually link?
Well, like I said, I watched it on another channel, but it's in Spanish. I don't know if anybody else knows the Spanish. I don't know.
Well,
up to you guys.
Well, so sorry about that, guys. So again, I covered this 2 years ago, and I covered this 6 or 7 months ago when their news agencies were actually telling them, they were actually showing them what kind of foods that can store for a long time. Last year, they did the drills for 40,000 Moscow citizens to go down into their things. A lot of people said it was saber rattling this and that, but then again, they ended up separating their internet. They ended up doing all of these weird things that kind of said, hey, we are actually preparing for something big. Then you had China on the other side.
Yeah.
You had NK doing all of these things in the middle. You've got the entire world preparing. And like I said, I was told years ago that this is a long-term thing, that this is being prepared for. They are planning it. They are giving time to each other to prepare for it. That's what's crazy to me.
I mean, what's crazy to me is that you got to remember, how did WW1 start? It started because a diplomat got taken out.
Yeah.
I mean, and the meeting's not going to be like back then when Russia and the U.S. met at a different country. They're going to meet. If it does happen, it's going to be in the Big Apple. So that's crazy.
Well, thank you.
At least on my point of view.
I agree. I've covered this for 2 years, and this is what I've talked about for 2.5 years. So thank you. And I don't know if you've watched for a long time, but not only do I think that you're right, I think that they'll even be working together on it, and they'll probably be sitting in the ghost cities in China, watching it all go up. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I just think about personally, like, if something were to happen, that'll be the perfect time to make anything happen, I mean, they can do whatever they want at that point. He's leaving his generals 100% in charge.
Yeah.
It just takes it just takes somebody a little screws loose to make things go off.
Yeah, look at that. They are planning to meet before this next vote day. Well, thank you so much for calling in tonight. I appreciate you. And again, just because it's, in fact, you called last time, and now I have a note. I loved your call last time as well, Edward. And thank you. Calling from Florida, Edward. You have a great night, okay?
Actually,
did you have one more thing? Yeah, no problem.
Actually, I think this is my first time.
Oh, okay. So we had a note that you were a previous caller, so I apologize. Well, thank you so much, Edward.
No, it's okay.
And you have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
That's funny. Dex, I could see you live changing it to FTC. All right, let's see here. Michelle is another first time. She'll be on deck. Michelle, you're going to be waiting a minute. You of course, it says that she's driving across country. So many dead trees and fire in Colorado compared to California. We'll get to your call after these next couple stories, so make sure to be on deck. All right, and then why is this even a story? It says, we hope they die. Chanting protesters blockade LA hospital after 2 officers are pew-pewed. It says 2 Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies were pew-pewed multiple times as they sat in their patrol car in Compton District on Saturday night, and they were hospitalized in critical condition. The unidentified suspect captured on CCTV is still at large. It says protesters have blockaded a Los Angeles hospital where 2 critically injured sheriff's deputies were admitted, chanting, "We hope they..." I don't even want to repeat that. If you are fully, even if you're fully that way, I hope that this offends you. I hope that you are understanding that this is over the line and that this is getting really quite disgusting. What kind of people are out there not only protesting, doing this, but really, what did these people do? Do they not know? Have they ever had to call the police for something that was done towards them? Like, I don't understand. How do people think that we can have a society without law and order? I don't understand it. We have to have a police force. I mean, these are grown adults. I just don't understand it. I'm not going to go into it. You guys, obviously, this offends me. And I normally don't go into my opinions about this kind of stuff, but this makes me sick. And to the police officers out there, know that there's plenty of people like me that have your 6 and 100% support you no matter what the news is saying. And to the police that I've met and that watch my show, so even some of my local police that are watching right now, I appreciate you. I've appreciated your services. I've had police, save my life in at least one time, twice actually. So I appreciate it. They hate him until they need him. Tropical storm Sally strengthening and could strike Louisiana or Mississippi as a hurricane. So we're going to be following this. Obviously, it is a surge that could very well turn either way. Like I said, there's a lot of good weather channels. BP Earthwatch specifically, he does a lot of great videos as they form. So if you go to BP Earthwatch as his channel, he actually follows these storms all the way up into fruition. We, of course, will cover it and watch it very carefully. But if you want to see more on this, make sure to go to marfooglenews.com and make sure to check out BP Earthwatch. One of my drones, one of my mods will put the link down below. And then we have boy donates 22,000 diapers to single moms using funds from his lemonade stand. So this is a positive one, and I think that this is definitely a good one to leave it on. Lots of kids have set up lemonade stands in the summer. For many, it's a rite of passage, a first step towards learning what it means to earn your own money. For 11-year-old Cartier Carey, it was a chance to do a lot more. That's because Carey isn't using his profits to open a first savings account or saving up to buy himself a special treat. Instead, he's investing it back into his Hampton, Virginia community. It says his goal, helping single mothers in need. With all the stress and financial support or uncertainty brought on by the pandemic, Carey decided to focus on the basics, diapers and wipes. It says, quote, he doesn't want to spend any of the money on himself. His mom, Brittany Stewart, told CNN he just wants to continue to buying diapers and giving each day. This is the kind of story I would love to see every day. And honestly, if we all did our part, I think that we would have a much more positive and peaceful world. It takes serious change, and it does take not getting triggered once in a day. That means not getting angry at people. If we did that, just start off, just one simple thing, not getting triggered by people in real life. It would be a start. When you look at the kids that do this kind of thing, it reminds you that we really could do a lot to help people. 22,000 diapers to single moms. It's really pretty. I love this kind of story. Again, Lady Green Eyes sent you what's happening on Twitter, Secret Place CV. I will check it out, Lady Green Eyes. Thank you. And then Bobby D, Dev Bear, Matrix 45, Calm Beast, thank you for following. D Lucid, thank you for a lemon there. DDD, Big Sig Sour, thank you. T Bori, Dixie Doe, Chronaholic, and then of course we've got Dev Bear B, KCH3, and One Adam 12. Mama Murphy, thank you for following as well. And as always, if you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. I will shout you out, and I will find you. Richard from Gig Harbor, thank you for following. I appreciate that. I don't know if that's someone I met last night. I actually went to a memorial last night for a good friend, someone who was taken way before his time. He was in his early 20s and ended up getting stabbed. It's a pretty messed up situation, and the family has a lot of recovery to do. But they had just an absolutely great service yesterday, and I look forward to the service on Saturday as well. And then we've got Merry Christmas 2.0, repent and be baptized in Jesus' name, Acts 2:37. This is the only way to heaven. Keep up the great work, guys. Well, thank you. Thank you for your support. Prairie Wind says, I'm glad I have stuck with you and watched this channel grow into a sophisticated news station it is now. Have you seen the new Lego haunted house? Prairie Wind, yes. And if I could afford it, that would be the first one I would get. I have the coaster, and I have the carousel, and that one is definitely on my want list. And then Gav 1507, please pray for firefighters and first responders. Trust in Jesus Christ, be saved today, Acts 2:36. Gav 1507, thank you. Christian Moore, the Bobcat fire is only a few miles away from my cabin. So far, so good, but anything can happen. Love and prayers to all of the fam. And then Wes Romans, Russia, GOG Magog, Ezekiel 38 is about to run its course. And then as Alex G. Zeta Rex Orbis says, authorities open arson probe into deadly fires. Quote, as hashtag Oregon woman catches man on her property holding only matches, just linked you on Twitter. So exactly, Alex, of course, I think it's stupid to not think that there's not one person doing this when they're in the main city lighting things on fire. They're going to light cars and everything else on fire, but they're going to draw the line at going, 100 feet over to the forest and doing it there. Okay. And, yeah, that's crazy to think that way. All right, and let's see here. Shakur, yeah, thank you from Canada, and Billy I at Breckenridge. Thank you guys for your support tonight. All righty, we're going to go over and we're going to go to the next caller. Michelle, first-time caller, talking about driving across country, so many dead trees and fires in Colorado compared to California. Michelle, you are live on Marfoogle News. Michelle, are you there?
Hey, Adam, we're trying to get Michelle on the line right now.
Okay, no worries. Peggy for Jesus, thank you. Dixie Doe, Herman F, Baldilocks Awake, El Luna, Robert 1008, thank you guys. Benoivus, and Mary JXX. It looks like we have close to 7,000 watching right now. Thank you guys for all being here on multiple platforms. And then thank you for those of you that actually watch us over on Twitter. I've been surprised that's actually been growing. Shout out to my Twitter watchers. And then right behind that, we've got Joseph Newhouse. We'll end up pulling up some stuff on that. There's a Dutch video he wants to look at in the high altitude platform station. I have no idea what that is. Meanwhile, let me show you guys my Twitter. We are closing in on 20,000 followers. I really appreciate if you guys go over and follow. Again, I post a lot of stuff over here that you would not see on YouTube. You can go to my platform there. You'll see the Lego Marfoogle News guy there that Gem sent in that is actually going with me to all of my photo shoots now. Let's see here. Boom, boom. Well, Dex, if you want, we can put through...
let's talk to Joseph, and I'll get Michelle on the line.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, too, if you guys want to get in, and if Michelle lost her spot, you can get in now. All right. Joseph, you are live on Marfoogle News. I guess I'll just hang out.
Hey, sorry about that. How's it going?
That's all right. Joseph, what's going on?
Hey, so I got a few things for you. First, I made a video about that map that the lady called in on a couple days ago about it had that, you pulled up that map with the big X over it. And so I noticed on, after the show on D-Live, you said maybe I could do something with the dates. And so I thought about it, and I kind of looked at it, and I added all the numbers up together. So for October, it would be 10 or 1 plus 0. And so I did that for both sides, and I got 4 for the annular solar eclipse and then 2 for the total solar eclipse. And so what's interesting about it is it's right over Texas with the X marks the spot thing. And so I looked at Texas, and so if you give each letter a value, so T would be 20, and then I go to 2 plus 0. So I kind of reduce it down. So you get one number, and that came out to 24, or you could go 2 plus 4. And so it was really weird. I wasn't sure if it's some kind of a synchronicity with the Holy Grail, because it's the X marks the spot, and it's with the eclipse and all that. But I thought it was pretty interesting.
By the way, with all of this, you guys can actually go over and watch this. All of the links that we are about to show you will be on marfooglenews.com, so you can go over and watch Joseph's video and get a better feeling for what he's talking about. The call he's talking about was the woman calling in about the X across. She had a dream that there was an X. She zoomed out and there was an X across the United States. And of course, later, October 14th, 2023, and then 2024, we'll have this total solar eclipse. And this was the map they showed. So thank you for doing a video on this, Joseph. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm always looking for interesting stuff. And then these next two things are kind of things I was thinking about making a video about. This first I saw from, so this is something I wouldn't be sure what to say. I saw this from Dutch, you're always talking about his channel, and this is the first video from him that I saw, this most recent video, and he showed, it looked like there was he has these crazy maps, right, for people who haven't seen, and it's he has all these different things, you can go to earthquakes or fires and different satellite stuff. But so he just looked at today and over Idaho, and he was watching how the smoke moved, but then there's also these, it was 5 fires in a row, and they're spaced out in some kind of an even pattern, and they just light up out of nowhere. And it's, you mentioned that short video that he made, I looked at that where it's 40 seconds, and it's looks like a laser beam or something, but so I don't think anybody likes the forests being burnt down, whether it's someone lighting it or a laser lighting it. But is this kind of thing, I was thinking is this this probably is the kind of stuff that even the president doesn't know about. This is if this is whatever's going on, it could be those few people that supposedly control the world, like kind of thing. Like, so I wouldn't even know what to say, you know?
Well, yeah, as far as Dutch and everything that he's been showing, you guys know where to get it. I don't have Dutch's direct permission. I've been talked to him several times, but he is a hard guy to get a hold of. I've been in chats with him, and again, he is somebody who does not really, he's very, very seldomly reaches out to other creators. I would love to have him on one day and interview him about some of this stuff, but I think he's had a lot of drama, so that's why he stays away from a lot of people. But those videos are definitely something that everybody should be looking at. And then the high altitude platform station, the link will be there as well. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go, Joseph?
Yeah, I mean, sorry that kind of shook me up a little bit, but the high altitude platform station, you know, you were talking about Asgardia, and I made that video about how it relates to like this mythological world tree. And so I kind of accidentally found out about these. It's like a giant blimp it says it's a station on an object at an altitude in a fixed point relative to Earth. And I don't know, I just thought it's weird with all the like stuff going on. But thanks for doing the show. It's good to hear you.
Absolutely, and we're sending out over as many people as possible. It looks like you're at over 3,000 subscribers now, so that's awesome. Joseph, you have a great night. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. That was Joseph Newhouse. He's a Foogle family member that often takes the subjects from the show, and he'll go deeper down into it. We have a network of hundreds of creators that create videos on YouTube, and they're always down to do something for the cause or the general good. So I really appreciate Joseph. Again, tonight we're having some tech issues. Looks like we're buffering over on DLive again for the fourth show in a row. We might have to email DLive. I don't understand. I've never had it where YouTube is not having any issues, but yet DLive is. That's strange. Tara Belay, thank you for gifting a 1-month sub to King's X. King's X, thank you for being here tonight. And then Ditch Doctor, thank you for following. Jules Writes on Walls, love your name. Thank you for following. And let's see here. These number Cray 3 says Marfoogle. Cray 3.14. Is that pi? These numbers Cray 3.14. I'm guessing pi. And then That Chowky Gal, thank you so much. Gray Tactical, thank you for being here tonight. Junal 8 Debug, thank you. Kihaja Fly Girl, thank you so much for being here all night tonight. And then Peggy for Jesus, thank you for following. Yeah, it looks like you guys are behind. Okay, and then let's see here. So far tonight, thank you, Veteran Steve. I know I have missed several things because it looks like you are the top contributor tonight. Huge. Thank you so much, Veteran Steve. You already have done so much. Black Fox 77 again on the leaderboard. Cat.zoom, thank you so much. And then Zippy Moons and Tower Bear in the top 5. Thank you guys. A lot of things are going on. Dex, do we have Michelle? I'm sorry?
I said we have Michelle back. We're going to try this one more time.
Okay, thank you so much. Again, the number is 224400 Marf, and then press option 4 when you get to our phone tree. All right.
And it looks like Michelle's live.
All right, Michelle, you are live.
Hello?
What's going on?
Hey, Marf. Oh, not much. How's everybody there?
Well, we're good. So it says you're driving across the country. Is that correct?
Well, I've been driving across the country like 4 times this year already. And I just want to talk about all the dead trees. It's like in every state you go into, almost more than 50% of the trees are dead. I've gone on Route 40, Route 70, and Route 80. And it's the same thing, especially in Colorado. Like you hit the Rockies, and it's unbelievable to me, all the dead trees. Like, it's so scary that it's like a timber box waiting, just waiting.
Now, we actually saw that here in Washington. What states specifically are you mostly driving through?
Well, I've gone from like Nevada to New York, and then back and forth. I keep going back and forth, and then I'm in Colorado now for permanent. But it's really scary almost to be here because of all the dead trees everywhere. I'm like, I don't even know. I don't know if other people are noticing this as well, but every time I drive across the country, it seems like more and more and more dead trees everywhere.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that this is because of change of the world's weather, or do you think that this is, have you noticed that it's more so in the countryside? Do you think that this is 2021, or I'm sorry, Agenda 21 or Agenda 2030? Or what do you think?
Yeah. Well, I have some interesting theories. Like, there's one place on Route 160 coming out of Pagosa Springs in the San Juan National Forest. As soon as you get out of the forest, the national forest, the trees are alive. It's almost like night and day. So I'm wondering if it isn't like some fracking, or, if they're not like, I don't know. I can't explain it. I don't know why we're not cutting all these dead trees down. Like, it should be criminal that they're not doing that.
Yeah.
Or something with them. I mean, I've even thought of like mulching them and making worm farms, or, selling the mulch or giving it away, or letting people cut the trees down. I mean, I just don't understand how we can have whole forest of nothing but dead trees and think that it's okay.
Yeah, well, I haven't traveled across the country as much as some of the others, but we did do California and we did do Idaho just recently, and that is one thing I noticed too. But I thought a lot of this was controlled burns. Has anyone that travels often, as far as like truck drivers and things like this, I would love to hear your guys' opinions, and if you're in the chat or even driving right now, make sure to use voice to text. Let us know. Have you noticed the same thing? Do you agree with our caller, Michelle? And then, Michelle, as far as what you're seeing here, it's very alarming if it is a pattern or a trend. Is there one more thing you want to say before you go?
Yeah, I noticed on Denver, I think it was NBC, I don't know, I subscribe on YouTube to a Denver news channel, and they showed a forest fire, the end results of this forest fire here in Colorado. And all the trees are burnt with the structures, like gone. And it's just such a contrast compared to what's going on in California. If anybody wanted to check that out, it's like amazing to me, that's the way fires should burn, how it happened in California or Colorado. And then California, like, how can you have all these fires and then not burn the trees down?
Well, by the way, we have tons of people in both platforms saying that they agree. Somebody even said that they have seen and noticed the same thing in Canada. Lots of trees, dead trees. And then someone said in Nevada, someone said you have it in New York, Chicago. Somebody said Florida is having the same issue. Ohio, I did not know that. We have a lot of people from Ohio as well. Yeah. So obviously people are noticing it, and we're not talking about, cut down trees. We're talking about dead trees just dying. So hopefully
dead trees just there, like whole forests of dead trees. I've made a couple videos, but they're really bad. So I'm not going to link they're on private, but it's devastating how bad the trees are dead.
Well, Michelle, I hope you get working, even if you just do one video to let people know where you're at, just in case I get taken down for any reason. Then you guys will know how to get a hold of each other. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for calling in tonight. Again, it's your first time call. Please don't make it your last.
I appreciate you, and I love the Marf family, the whatever you call them, Marfoogle family, or appreciate everybody.
Well, thank you so much for calling in. Have a great night. God bless.
Okay.
By the way, remember, all of the callers are going to be updated on our website. You go to marfooglenews.com, you click by thumbnail, so you'll see this thumbnail here, and then when you click that, you will see that we have all of the articles that I read here tonight. all of the articles that we have. And then, of course, down here, the caller info will be updated shortly. Usually it's already done, but again, you can get there. If there's any links, they'll go there. It's usually updated by the end of the show. And then, Dex, is there anything you want to add tonight?
I think you had called on me earlier and I missed you, so I apologize for that to the fam. I've been running around on the phones here with everybody, but it's really interesting what's going on with the fires out there and the situation and the blame that's being pointed in all different directions. And I just always like to think that when you see people pointing fingers, you might want to investigate other areas, because that tends to be not necessarily the right place to be looking. On all sides.
Yeah, and it shouldn't be a left or this or right. It should be both sides be taking accountability and not overreacting on things. Well, thank you, Dex, for your service tonight, and thank you for
great show, Adam.
Staying up late. I know that it's almost 1 a.m. almost 1 a.m. where you're at. So thank you so much, Dex. Everybody, give Dex a hand. And much love, you guys. Make sure to check out our affiliates on our page as well. Thank you guys all for supporting us tonight. Now it is officially time for a shoutro. It's not an outro. It's not a shout out. It's a shoutro. Have a good night. The way that you truth me, I like. The way that you truth me, I like. The way that you truth me, I like. The way that you truth me. Flawless by Christ. Thank you so much tonight. Thank you for your support. Pulling up in an Ninjagini. God bless you, fam. Stay strong. Stay by God. Much love. Fooglers. As we get it back right, going back, walking out, going back night. Oh, death bear be when the flood up by cry. Going back round and everybody at night. Hey, cold cracker. Hey, death be. Hey, terror be lay. Gotta walk in the down with the jaw farm and the Liz Berry and the Les Brower and coming back round no harm. J Stone 78, hey Laura Griffith, hey Peaceful and everybody hitting it. The way that you truth me, I like. The way that you truth me. For being here tonight. Spend a 340, Putty Woo walked a lot and made drugs. I'm gonna go with the Walking Lure. Going back round, this is spectacular. Chronaholic and the Crow Cacker. Veteran Steven and Auntie M. Road to Hana and this fam. This am, gotta be back now, we been. of water in the Kishara, cold cracker and everybody harder. Hearing when it comes to me, peaceful waters and Mississippi. Hey, Muscle Whisperer and Rodahana, going back round like it's Rosh Hashanah. Gotta get the tall drink of water, doing everything like arrogant but water. Gotta go back round, it's getting harder just to stay quiet in the quiet, silent majority. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha.
Truth me, I like the way that you truth me. I like the way that you truth.
Luckiest followers tonight, Channel Jammer winning 89 lemons from the chest. Tall Drink of Water, number 2 with 52. Chance Paladin, number 3. Mersa 1, number 4. And Paul Shaggy, number 5. Top contributors tonight. In the number 1 spot, Veteran Steve. Black Fox in the number 2. Cat Zoom, Zippy Moons, and Tower Bear right after that. Pulling up in number 2, Sarah Natty. Thank you for the last minute support. All time we have Amy R. as the queen of D-Live. Gone Girl 777, thank you so much for being a 2 all-time donator. End Times in the number 3 spot. And of course, Tower Bear, number 4. And Kelly2334. Thank you, Susan Donahue, for being the top donator on YouTube. You are much appreciated. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Gone Girl. Thank you, Veteran Steve. I appreciate it.
Gotta find that thing you love. Red in the valley and the paper yoga. Sanchez of the Oka. Gonna go back with the conquest, Josh. Gonna go back and ride. Beat coming back around like the extra one. Do it like a D-Tech, a prophet. Gonna do it like you got it now. I got to go. All like a freak show. Fino Parmas, gonna back from Paris. As we ever sitting with the David Crockett. Going back around, got a pocket. Monosaya and the Sherry Chapman. Paul Shaggy and Mr. Parkman. I gotta go bring it like Charlie did. Abercrombie. Gotta bring it all the way back, thank you. I thank you. Bones and white tail. Respirator Jane and I love Jesus. Forever on the red in the valley I ever. Gonna have a friend like you. I wish that I could have all of you right by my side. In real life, gonna bring back. Gonna do it like a leaves are a night. You're third in the one on big. Also family, Caribbean. Gotta love it now, Scan family. And J Stone, keep L-E-R here. And the Braille gonna go no fear. Make not a bit of it again, go in. Einstein's mom, and you do it all the way, man. All the way, man. Got the Matrix 45 rows to the moon. Red to the valley, and everybody swoon. All the way back, all the way forward now. Go on, girl, not to be confused with gone girl, barefoot, last and new. People thank you for being here. Davy Crockett and everybody knows it. Deep West been giving out success. And right going, don't rain, going on never road. Going on love like a near road. Stormy 13, gotta go ring, gonna go always bizarre. Gonna make it so long, Mr. Bizarre. Maskless, going fast, with no spun and the coming home. Sherry on the Chapman, doing it on Asman. I'm gonna get me with a big asthma, with the bad hair, designing in my hair. With the old man, I don't want a bad old man. Doing everything that we do freestyle, none of it's scripted. With the Brackley and the Rick Hill R, and Final Paris Bazaar. And this is Jilly J and Rizar. So bizarre. Did you miss it? I gotta be sorry. Coming back and no hurry. Echo one, coming back, I'm bringing it now. Davy on the cocky, go on the pocket, open it up and never gonna close it. Gonna do it like this, don't trust anybody. Don't trust anybody. We never bash man like Darren James Ashton. Gonna do it down like old Big Sebastian. Joe Payne White, they'll say, have it. Gotta get the Satire right. Essie on the screen. Able body, never gonna beat the able body. They just wanna go home. 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 Lord on the sky, baking your art, your dark adventures and old like Lola Coffee. Hey, 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 over in West Seattle. Got a D under our Jackson, one up back. Please pay for the young man whose funeral Adam attended. His name was Maverick. His name was Maverick, and he won't be forgotten. Stabbed and taken rape before his time. Hey, dear Mav, I remember you. Your soul stayed true, even when you were a messed up guy. You just left way too early to die. Mav, my guy. No one deserves to die. No one deserves to die. Not if it's not their time. Maverick, we won't forget. No, my buddy in the sky. Oh no, lie. We're not giving up for you. Gonna bring it back and no soul goes up to heaven. It do. He died. Oh, gonna bring it back down. You know, we will rock down the street and we die. We will fly by time by, licking all these licks. I'm going back red all this time later. Yeah. K Taurus with the vote. Thanks for your support, and I've been appreciating you too. Admit, been watching since the beginning of your mind. Got the Lola Cafe and the KH Frey. Thanks for your support. It's about time that we know. Behind the scenes, and it is so ugly. Oh, I've seen behind the scenes, and it is so ugly. Oh, for every stranger could be an angel. For every stranger could be an angel. Leave all of you if they wanted to leave. They could leave all of you if they wanted to leave. They could. Outside. Only news I use, Marfoogle news. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse wrong. Marfoogle news, where are you? Only news I use, Marfoogle news. I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Marfoogle news, where are you? Only news I use, Marfoogle news. with the lies there, going back down like an always bite. I'm going back down to the other bayou, going out down and I know I tire you. Gonna bring it back like this Renee, going back and re-exile, going back down with the Bradley. Gonna be alright and able-bodied, and I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roam. Gotta go with the jackwoofer, gotta do it like an aquifer.
Barefoot lies in the dirt dog. I'm doing it just like little dog. Little dog knows I gotta do. I did not gotta feel. I gotta go hammer down and make it totally by the night.
I'm looking outside of my window, seeing a crescendo. I'm not going out there where apocalypse roams. Looking outside of my window. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. We'll be on the pandemic. 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 Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Be a bad boy, 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 take the mask off. Loaded Magic 5 with the David Crockett. Going back down edgy, one in the pocket with a barefoot last in the go on girl. I got the road to Honda and the world. It's right behind me with the Robin spur. Got a Robin spiker and a sledgehammer. I got the third BO with the Patriot and the Brian Knight. Everybody got to get with the dudes fall smooth and the one on B Apple Bus and the sweet REMs. Oh, gotta be the Apple Bus and the a lady green eyes and the net on us. Gotta do it just like Jilly J's in the common moon. Everybody gotta go say. Hey, with the Richie and the Shaggy on the mall. Gotta go love it and I bring it right back. Mask on the left with the shutter on the block with the Ecto 1 and the Mr. Shutterbug. I'm about to bring the glow white with the Lisa Renee. Gotta go back down, going out and make fake. Lisa on the Renee, going out back now, doing everything like that with a WSA with the Jelly J, hey with the J Stone, hey with the Ecto 1, hey with the Flame on. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Be a bad mascot, take the mask off. Being in the hammer, Edgar, and grandma. Wanna bring a man with a Burberry, but my buddy do it bigger, man. Be a bad mascot, take a mask off. Be a bad mascot.